Hi guys, this is Night Fury 11, and I'm here today with a video I think you guys are gonna like. Now, if you saw the title, which I'm assuming you did since you clicked on it to watch it, I have constructed in Pocket Edition a missile factory. Well, factory of a sort. It essentially prints missiles that then launch themselves and go blow up whatever they're pointing at. And it is for the spear missile that I designed and showed off in my last video. Now, just going to give you a quick flyby. You can see how it works. It's pretty simple. The only thing that's not that simple is how you get the slime blocks in, which is what all this random wiring back here is for. And how come you have to refill the slime blocks every 3 firings instead of like every 12 like you do the rest of the stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna press a button here, fly over here, and watch it work. You can see everything moving, some sand dropping. This stuff, it finishes what it's doing almost immediately. This takes a little bit longer because that TNT is actually what makes everything in that engine move. Like, not directly, but nope. And I'm gonna get pushed off the back. Yeah, you can't really ride it through there. You just have to fly along beside it. But, so yeah. And you can see, when it comes out the end, it is a fully built, with as much TNT, just about, as you can put on it. A fully built spear missile. And this will continue on in this direction until it hits this big glass wall I set up. And yeah. And you see this over here? Gray might recognize this, because this is actually where I was trying to build one last night. Or, yeah. And it kind of blew itself up, so... Did this thing stop? No, okay. Sometimes the missiles stop when you go out of the chunk, or at least stop until you come back in the chunk. Oh my, oh. And that's why you don't bounce on a moving slime block. Anywho. The reason I chose to make a factory for the spear missile is because being a 2x1 missile is so much easier to put together. Because you can literally just stagger the inputs. And it's so much easier. So if you're going to build a factory like this, build it for a 1x2. I'm just telling you right now. You will thank yourself for it later. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice glitchy shadow. But, so yeah. This took me probably 7 hours to make. And if you count the one over there that blew up, probably closer to 10 hours. And of course, I'm not the first one to ever make a missile factory. That's Cube Hamster has one, or at least one that's a work in progress. See, it makes a nice little crater. I don't know why these didn't set off. They usually set off. Yeah, cut it out. You're not going anywhere. There's a giant glass wall in front of you. Anyways, Cube Hamster's made one. I know a lot of other people have probably made them too. But from what I saw at a glance, this is the first one I've ever seen made on Pocket Edition. And of course, I know you can make it without the use of sand and is so much nicer and all that. Yeah, whatever. I didn't really have the time or the devotion to make one without sand. And frankly, due to the fact that there is no quasi-connectivity in Pocket Edition, I don't know how I would ever have found a way to separate these slime blocks to get stuck on without sand. So, alright, I'm just going to... I really wish I could slow down the game, with that /tick speed command from a mod or whatever. But sadly, I cannot. Anywho, that'd be much more interesting to show you. But, alright, so essentially, starting from the button, because the button's way up here, I just put a long delay here, basically so that I could fly over there before it started. That's pretty much it. So, this path right here will basically trigger every single one of these pistons, shoving TNT along all this purpur, and then after a short delay, a second set of pistons, which are under and above the purpur, push them down into the path of missile. It's pretty straightforward. Just takes a little bit of timing. Then this main wire continues along this path, with a little section stopping off here. Again, pretty straightforward. This glass just gets pushed over here, along with a redstone block, and they get pushed into the path of the missile. This is the igniter. And I did it in 4 sections, so if there was an error, I could pinpoint which section it was. And yeah. This one's only error is I accidentally put too many glass blocks. I tried to get the piston to push 13 blocks instead of 12. Yeah, that don't work too well. That with the test run, the very first one. Yeah. This one is a bit more complicated, but all it is really is 3 TNT gets put on these 3 blocks. An observer gets put here, piston here, observer here, and shoved into the path. Now that's what pushes the payload and the igniter. Here's where the complex stuff gets put in. As you can see, I've run tests on this section many times compared to the other sections. And yeah. As you can see, you're like, wait, these slime blocks are too far away, aren't they? No. Yeah, I kinda had to do, like, this is one of them. This is another. I had to put double pushers in. And actually, I can show you what it does down here. This is what I was using to test them. I need sand. So, this is a full clip. Yeah, it's just 3 slime blocks. Unfortunately, that means it has to be reloaded much more often. And the timing on this one is better than the timing on the one up there. I think the one up there might waste sand block every now and again. But, that's because they had farther distances and I couldn't make it as compact as I wanted, and yada yada yada. So this is a sort of delay coil, is what I call it. So basically, when this button's pressed, the signal goes into this repeater, which delays ever so slightly, and into this wire, while the signal is also going through this repeater, and then this repeater, and then this repeater, and hitting that wire as well, therefore prolonging the signal. And then it also goes through this one and this one. So it prolongs the signal a lot, so that this piston will stay extended for a long time. And this is the only way I could make it not look jerky, is it be that long, and also work correctly. And also here, so from the slightly delayed one, it comes back to here, which is what drops the extra You might as well call it wadding in beneath it. It's just more sand. While the other path that the button makes, which I think it might as well be connected, because, yeah. It goes over here and splits into two. This back one is slightly more delayed. Actually, no. Slightly less delayed than this one. Wait, what? Or is it? I don't know, but they have two different delays. Yeah, I think it's slightly less delayed. Yeah. So, then that gets pushed out and pushes this piston with it. This piston then gets pushed out and pushes the slime blocks and the dark prismarine, so it's here, which advances them 2 blocks onto here, which is the simulation purpur, which is normally up there. Anywho, just watch it. And then it'll push some extra off there. And see? There you go. There's your slime block. Your missile comes along, boom, picks it up, and goes on about its day. And like I said, unfortunately, this one has a very small clip size due to having to separate the slime blocks with the sand, because apparently in Pocket Edition there is no other way to pull slime blocks apart, because the way that it's done in PC uses quasi-connectivity to create zero-tick pistons, which essentially just means that the pistons move so incredibly fast, the slime blocks can't keep up and get disconnected. So I'm going to run this factory one more time, just to show you that it does work repeatedly. Like, again, you do have to fill it up, but... And there we go. And it's moving. And if this blows up in the middle of this, I'm going to be super ticked, because, like, this one's had quite a few failures, but so far not one that's caused it to blow up. And I think I've solved them all. Fingers crossed. But, yeah. So, if this is the first factory on PE, I am really, well, you know, the first one on YouTube, I'm gonna be really surprised. But, anywho, I'm probably gonna be doing more stuff with slime blocks in the future, just because I'm actually learning how to use them somewhat now. So, I think that's about all. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!